I grew up in Deep Slot Station 2. Very loud. People are fighting.
Deep Slot is an area where there's a lot of poverty and we see high rates of crime. Violence against women is very high in Deep Slot.
I come from a small town in the Eastern Cape called Utenhage. I was one of 3 children. My father was working at the South African Railways. He was a millwright.
2 of my kids, they're from the same father. Very emotional, abusive, because he was hurting me too much. And not only me, even my kids, because they also noticed that their father is not there. Physically, he was not there. Emotionally, he was not there. It was like he's neglecting his own kids. As the same as my father, he neglected me.
And then we started to argue. When I argue, I started to push her. She said I did point her with a gun.
Polani is not the only one in our group who has hit his wife or girlfriend.
Got arrested second time. And they said it's a domestic violence and assault. I did bring some stuff in the house.
I met Polani about 4 months ago. He came to the container because his girlfriend had pressed charges against him for assaults.
I had a troubled childhood in the sense that my father was brought up to believe that he could walk on water because he was male. He felt quite entitled to behave as if everybody was there to serve him and to be subordinate to him. So as a father, he was very much absent in his role as a provider of affection or being in touch with us as his children. We had to be seen and not heard, literally. He was a verbally, emotionally, psychologically abusive person to my mother and to us. Then my mother passed away in a car accident when I was 14. And once my mother had passed away, my father more or less abandoned us. In fits of jealousy, he would go through the house with a gun and threaten to shoot us all.
The absence of fathers has affected a lot of people. You find that a man is abusing a woman because he hasn't had a role of a father figure. Women don't see a role model of how a man should be treating a woman.
I was 18 when I left home. I came to Johannesburg. I borrowed money from a relative and I did my degree in communication. And I had to fetch my little brother because he was then finishing school and he was still being abused by my father. And then I met the first man I married, who was abusive, violent, aggressive, bodybuilder. So I found myself in an abusive first marriage because obviously I was easily victimized.
I was raised by my mother's sister. Maybe I think I was around 10 by the time they told me about my father. But I never grew up in front of my father. I once spoke to him, but he didn't tell me nothing. There was no relationship. He was not interested at all. I also needed him to tell me something and say, maybe, yes, you are my daughter. It's hectic because even now it's something that is always eating me up.
I think it was the issue of self-esteem. It's generally known that girls who do not have an affectionate, close relationship with their fathers have a low self-esteem. And they are far more prone to accept abuse in a relationship because of the poor relationship with their fathers. And they think that they deserve that kind of abuse.
Me and my father didn't have a strong bond relationship. My father wasn't around. I can go today to him. We can maybe chat for 15 minutes. Yeah, that's all.
The father wound is a great and a huge anger in most men that I've come across, including Polani.
You repeat patterns that you learn in childhood, and in the absence of a relationship, a strong relationship with your father, you don't have that kind of confidence.
Now I know what if I've got something that is eating me inside. I'm WhatsApping boss. I've taken one step.
Many men find themselves in situations where they also taught to believe that what they are doing is okay.
Men can change with the help of other men and help from other women.
I'm gonna be there for my kids. I'm gonna be the best father. Like I didn't have a chance to with my father.
if fathers were present and they were showing their daughters being caring fathers, taking care of their family, loving their children and loving their wives, because then women would know that if I'm treated badly, I'm able to leave.